We need to have an integrated approach in the home environment, in the school, teacher, parent. Everyone is important, and we all need to work together for these children. But yes, it demands a lot of parental involvement. I want you to focus on these verses and the hadith. In Surah Al-Imran, verse number 190, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. Behold, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day, there are indeed signs for men of understanding. These are the verses which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite at the time of Tahajjud. And this is about nature. This is about coming back to basics. This is about simplifying our lifestyle and connecting more to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Then in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 168, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us, Ya ayyuhan nas, kulu mimma fil ardi halalan tayyiba, wa la tattabi'u khutuwati shaytan, innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. O mankind, eat of what is on earth, lawful and good, and do not follow the footsteps of the evil one, for he is to you a clear enemy. So it's about eating habits, food habits, not just halal, but also tayyib, no junk. And then, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Please do not follow the footsteps of shaitan. All this gluing to the screens, the media, and kind of activities that we have given to our children, and they are following the footsteps of shaitan. So they're becoming more hyperactive. We also need to remember in a hadith in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, no one is born except upon natural instinct, and it is their parents which give them a deen. So again, we need to remember that our children are born in a very natural manner, but it is us who have to take the responsibility of working on them in the proper manner. So lifestyle change is required. Protein-rich breakfast, and we have to avoid junk and fine sugars. Do not introduce fine sugars to your children at a very young age. Let child walk to school if the school is close by, or if you can park at a little distance and then walk with your children. Have a quiet place at home for doing homework for the children. Give them at least 30 minutes of break, so when they come back from school, so that they unwind and they can play a bit, and it should be like a physical activity that they should be involved in. Then listen to your children in a mindful manner, because many a times we are focused on so many of our commitments and we're just going, theek hai, okay, yeah. And the kids say, Mom, are you listening? Dad, are you listening? And we're like, yeah, I'm listening. Utilize your child's natural energy in a healthy manner. And yes, you need to understand the age-appropriate rules and consequences. You need to read a lot of books, search on net, whatever is the age of your child, and read a lot about the age-appropriate behavior so that you understand your child for that particular age. Also help your child handle all the possible stresses in their life. And yes, for that you will have to have good communication skills with them. Limit their electronic screen time and give a lot of opportunities for your children to be out in nature. Also understand that any family transitions, they are going to affect the child's mood, behavior, and ability to focus. Because many a time when we're thinking about our own stresses, we often look at these kids and we think like, he doesn't care or she doesn't care. But the kids do take all those impacts. Encourage child to read the books and yes, show unconditional love to the child. From the management point of view, what you're supposed to do, you have to look at the problematic behavior. What could be the cause of that behavior? Because this is very important. Sometimes we are looking at such a huge picture that we are not able to identify what am I supposed to do. Jot down a couple of the areas which are problematic for you, and then pick out the one which is, yes, problematic, but easiest of all. First, try to fix that. Then you also need to see what is your perception or attitude towards that particular problem. Are you handling or mishandling? And same goes for the teachers. You also have to see how that behavior is managed at the present. You also have to identify child's perception, interest, and strength. Then prioritize the behavior that you're going to manage. Inshallah, you'll be able to make a good management plan. Some general activities that you can do with your kids. You can have slogans, you can have stories, you can do tilawat with them, you can encourage your children to help other people. Your tone has to be very encouraging and motivating for them. Make models with them, mind maps, discussions, role plays, problem solving, flashcards, craft activity, read out to them. And these are going to be very healthy activities that you will generate in your family for the hyperactive tactile children. But there has to be a plan where you can guide the teachers what they can do. 3 areas that they have to really work on. Classroom management. They need to have flexible classroom seating for them. Obviously away from all the visual distraction. Like, they shouldn't be seated close to the window so that they're always looking outside, or close to where the teacher is doing some sort of work. Their learning space has to be given to the child. And yes, you can have a buddy system in which you place him with a child who is more settled. Ask that child to help him. For the lesson plans, again, the teacher can have predictable routines and structure for the child. Also give them some static as well as some physical activities. I myself, when I'm teaching children in the weekend school, if I have a plan with me, which is like a very serious and static kind of a plan, so I tell the children at the very beginning, today the plan is very serious and I expect you to be seated properly in the class. But you know what? If you finish off this lesson in time and we save like 10 minutes from our class time, we'll do some activity. I have noticed that many times this works. And the children, they sit settled, they attend the class. Then I have to definitely save last 10 minutes with them where we do some activity. Then you can also give them short achievable targets. Whenever the children, they complete their tasks, you need to reward them very promptly. For the behavior, again, very minimum rules to these children. The desired behavior should be explicit and reinforced. Frequent feedback has to be given to the child. Small immediate rewards. Remember, their working memory is deficient. When you interact with them, you are calm, but yes, you are assertive. Target one behavior area. Now, this is for the teacher. Sometimes your teacher would agree with this plan, but there are going to be times when she will be having a lot of things juggling at her own hands, and she can tell you point blank that I'm so sorry, you expect me to do all this for your kid. I have another 25, 30 or even 40 kids in my class. You can't expect me to ignore them and just focus on your kid. So you need to then work on your plan. And even if the teacher is cooperative, you have to still work side by side on your plan. What is the mother's plan? Because mother is the key person. And if the mother is working on that plan, she can involve all the family members, the father, the siblings, and even the grandparents. The larger family can also be part of it. What mother has to do is teach organizational skills to the child. Guide the child to organize his table, desk, bag, stationery, and in a very gentle manner. You're not going to say, do I have to remind you every day? How many times do I remind you? And then you can display a personal timetable. There could be a chart with the stars, stickers, ticks, and the kid can mark it and then keep placing his things. The rules for organization. Second important thing you have to do is work on building attention span at home. For that, what you do is you give assignments one at a time, and that are going to be according to the attention span of the child. And I've given you the criterion for that, and you assess how much my child sits. And you can keep adding another 2 minutes or 3 minutes for another 3 to 4 months. Don't expect big leaps, because many a times when the mothers, they sit with their kids for like 3 days, 4 days, and they come to me and they're like, he still has less attention span. And I sat with him, I worked with him, and when I asked them the time duration, it's like just a week. These changes are going to take long time. Then you break up big assignments into short tasks, and you vary the tasks. You give very clear and concise instructions to the children, and obviously a very minimum exposure to the media. Third important area for the mother is addressing the hyperactivity. And for that, what you need to do is allow them legitimate opportunities for moving. In between the tasks, you can give them short breaks where they can have some sort of physical activity. You remind them about their work, also remind them how they can check their work. Please do work on their self-esteem. Reassure them, encourage them, compliment them on positive behavior. Focus on your child's talents and accomplishments. Also look for the signs of stress and how you can wean off the frustration they are facing. And also look for the leadership opportunities for your children in the community, in the home, as well as in the school environment. And most of all, what I want you to focus on is this hadith in which Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there are 3 supplications which are answered, and one of them is supplication of a parent for his child. Many times I've seen parents really frustrated with the psychological issues or this hyperactivity issues of the children, especially because, when they're not able to find good support structure within the community or home or even the school environment for their children. So dua is there. You need to make repeated duas, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always going to respond, inshallah, to that. The most beautiful dua in Surah Al-Furqan, this is my favorite dua. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Because in this dua we say, Allah, oh my Rabb, make this my spouse and my children قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ, the comfort of my eyes. Because sometimes we go for very specific dua. Oh Allah, please, I want my kids to have grades. Oh Allah, I want my kid to settle down. No, not be hyperactive. But maybe, if he doesn't have hyperactivity, he might have another test for you. So if we say we want our children, our spouses to be qurrata ayunin, the comfort of our eyes. And then what? وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. In this dua, we're talking about family, we're talking about spouses, we're talking about children. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us that ask for what? Make me imam of muttaqi. Give me leadership of muttaqi. That means we are asking for our family to have taqwa as well. We are asking for our family to listen to the value system that we are trying to generate for them. Subhanallah. This is like such a beautiful dua. If we keep making this dua and we keep working on the techniques, inshallah, I'm hopeful that a lot of children who are heading towards diagnosed ADHD, they might halt over there, they might slow down over there, or they might be able to develop a discipline in their life. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. So these children of ours are there with us so that we can help them, we can nurture them, guide them, not just only for this life, but also for the hereafter, because that is our ultimate success.